All right, hello and welcome back to DMCS TV. This is going to be one of our very first one-on-one interviews. Today we've got a special guest, someone who knows all about what's best for your feet, Charbel.
Nice to meet you.
Fantastic, let's get into it. Behind this whiteboard, we've got 4 people all wearing different shoes. All right, today we have Autry and New Balance.
Fantastic. So we'll start with the New Balances. New Balances are known for being quite a much wider shoe, much more comfortable shoe. With your New Balances, how often would you say you wear them?
About 4 out of 7 days a week.
Okay. All day, sitting at a desk, or a lot more walking around?
A bit of both.
Bit of both, so up and down quite often?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And how do your feet feel by the end of the day?
A bit sore.
Bit sore?
Yeah, but I got bad feet anyway.
Okay. Around the arch is more sore, or?
Just everywhere.
The whole foot? The whole foot? Okay. So a couple of things to kind of flag there. He's very up and down, wearing them almost the whole week long, and feet hurting by the end of the day. So although they are New Balance, unfortunately, this particular model, the 550, not so much of a supportive shoe as opposed to more of a fashionable kind of shoe. Something, if you wanted to stick with New Balance, I'd go for more of a, I think it's a 1080 or something like that. So usually the higher the number, the more supportive they are. So I'd go for something a bit more towards that 1080 mark, or even 960s, I think are quite supportive. Staying fashionable, staying with the New Balance brand, just having a bit more support in that shoe.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, awesome. With the Autrys now, how long have you had them for?
Probably about a year.
About a year. And what's your kind of work day like? Very up and down as well?
Yeah, I take calls all day and walk around on the phone.
Walk around on the phone. So looking towards that 5,000 to 10,000 steps per day.
Yeah.
Wearing them out to the gym?
No, these are just for the office.
The office kind of shoes?
Yeah.
And your feet by the end of the day, how are they feeling?
They kill.
They kill, okay.
Nice, yeah.
All over as well, or more in the arch, in the heel?
In my heel.
In the heel?
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple of things to note there. Pain's more focused on the heel, so there might be a bit of extra strain going in from the Achilles tendon or potentially in the plantar fascia, which sits at the bottom of the foot. Definitely need something a bit more supportive. Autry looks like to be more of a fashionable shoe, so similar to like a Nike Dunk or something like that. I definitely want to transition into something a lot more supportive. A couple brands like maybe an Ascent shoe, they do a lot of good office wear, as well as Frankie 4 and even Baird footwear. Some other brands maybe like a Revere or something like that, still staying with that kind of, leather canvas style shoe, but at least with a bit more support.
Cool, for our next segment, we've got Nike and Adidas.
Perfect. So now with Nike and Adidas, probably 2 of the most popular shoe brands out there, top 2 competitors, I would say, in the shoe game. Just very generally, Nike and Adidas generally don't have a lot more support. They do focus a lot more on comfort and fashion. Comfort being just a bit more of a bounce, so a bit more cushioning.
Yep.
Especially, for example, with the Air Maxes and the Air Forces, they come with quite a thick insole, so it does give you a bit more of a bounce. Unfortunately, not too much support in them. So yeah, Nike Air Maxes, if you do like that kind of style, so similar to the other shoes, I would switch to something like a Revere, Baird footwear, a Frankie 4, or even an Ascent for that kind of leather canvas kind of shoe, with something a bit more supportive in the arch and in the heel. You're not going to be feeling like you're going to be, wanting to throw your shoe at a wall by the end of the day. How do the Nikes feel by the end of the day?
Feel alright.
Feel alright? Are you more sitting at a desk all day, or a lot more walking around in these kind of shoes?
A bit of both.
Bit of both, up and down?
Yeah.
What would you say you kind of hit in terms of steps while you're wearing these Air Maxes?
Probably anywhere from 5 to 8,000.
5 to 8,000? Okay.
Yeah.
And your feet feel okay by the end of the day?
Yeah, no, like I get a bit of arch pain because I've got flat feet, as you can probably see.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think, a bit sore, but probably need better shoes.
Bit more support maybe. So as mentioned, bit of flat feet. You can see on that kind of inside of the foot, that medial aspect, where the foot is kind of collapsing in, causing a bit of a bulge on the shoe. I would say definitely require a bit more of a support, a bit more boost in that area, just to hold the arch a little bit more comfortably, to not have that kind of arch pain by the end of the day. In terms of the Adidas, are you as well very up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More, I sit down and walk on my breaks there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go for a walk on your break, like around the block or something like that? Okay. And you're wearing the Adidas shoes while on those walks, or do you swap into like a sneaker?
I wear these.
Wear these ones?
Yeah.
And how does it feel after the walk or by the end of the day?
By the end of the day, I don't have any complaints, but once I take it off, I feel more relaxed. Like my feet feel more relaxed.
A bit more relief?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, again, good fashion shoes, good to have in the office. I would say if you do want to go for a walk in your break, maybe carry a pair of sneakers with you, something like a Brooks Adrenaline or a Asics Kayano, or even, like we said, the New Balance 1080s, very good supportive shoes. Something that's good to go for a walk around the block, and then switch back into your more fashionable shoes, something that's going to suit your outfit at the office, and work a little bit better that way. So we get a bit of a balance between the two kind of uses of the shoes. So just a quick wrap up on shoes. There really is no such thing as a bad shoe. It kind of does depend on what your lifestyle is, what kind of factors you want to focus on. If you're sitting more at a desk all day, very minimal activity, there's pretty much no shoe that can go wrong. I'll just make sure it's appropriate fit, appropriate width and length, and just making sure your foot is comfortable in it by the end of the day, making sure that we are matching up function and fit, and making sure that your feet are comfortable. So this is an example of what a good supportive shoe would be. So this is a Brooks Adrenaline. I think it's the 23, so not the most recent model, but still fairly good. In terms of the features to look out for when buying a shoe, there are a couple of things that you definitely want to make sure. You've got the appropriate length, always making sure it's a finger width from where your toes poke up from the front. Your appropriate width, which is something that you can get checked at your local podiatrist, or you can get it checked at any athlete's foot store. They do a 3D scan of your foot. Most shoe shops do also have a Brannick device, which can check your width as well. So always good to double check, making sure we're getting the appropriate width of our shoes. In terms of other features to focus on, a firm heel counter is really important to make sure that we have nice firm support around that heel, making sure that it's not kind of folding over anywhere. In terms of where the shoe should fold, it should only fold and crease where your toes are. So at that kind of front of the shoe, your shoe shouldn't be able to really twist too much, or really fold up in the middle. That way we have a nice firm, rigid midfoot support. But yeah, lacing is always important, making sure your foot is nice and secure. But this is a great example of a supportive shoe. So this is an example of a non-supportive shoe. While it is still a good shoe, there's not necessarily a bad shoe per se, but something that's just not as supportive. Unfortunately, Nike Dunks, as good as they look, there's not really much support in them at this stage. Hopefully Nike does add some supportive features to them. Compared to the Brooks Adrenaline, you can see that heel counter pretty much folds all the way down. There's not much support in the heel there. Not only does it fold at the toe joint, it also folds pretty much in the middle, and I can almost fold it halfway through, and it does twist quite a fair bit. So not really much support, unfortunately, in the midfoot, nor in the heel. In terms of the shoe itself, Nike Dunks are unfortunately quite a narrow shoe. They don't make them in a wide fitting shoe at this stage. Again, hopefully Nike does introduce a wider fitting Nike Dunk, just to accommodate for people with wider fitting shoes. But these are the appropriate length. So we've always made sure to keep that finger width from the front. They are also laced, so we make sure we get a nice snug fit on the foot. Otherwise, if we did have a firm heel counter, maybe a bit more rigidity in that midfoot, and maybe even a bit of a wider fit, I would say then it would be a great shoe. But at this stage, unfortunately, not as much of a supportive shoe, but great to go out and see your friends on the weekend or something like that. Treat your shoes like a diet. 80-90% of the week, you're wearing your good supportive shoes, and then on the weekend, you can have your cheat meals or your fashionable shoes. So we'll be doing a very quick foot check now. So this is an example of what we would do at an initial appointment. First time someone's coming in, we're gonna have a look at their feet, see what's going on, and make a plan from there. So I always like to start with the nail check first and then progress down to the bottom of the feet just to see if there's anything going on there. So with these feet, we can see definitely there's a bit of trauma going on there. A couple different points of the nails where we can see if it's not kind of that pink and healthy kind of look where you can see at the base of this nail here, then unfortunately there is something going on there. So as long as they're pink and healthy, we can kind of keep going and not worry about anything there. Definitely need a trim, unfortunately, these feet with these toenails. But otherwise, yeah, you can see these little markers here where there is a bit of discoloration, a bit of trauma to the nails there. So very consistent with the history of playing a lot of soccer, a lot of footy, wearing those tight boots. I'm sure these feet get trodden on quite a fair bit. So definitely consistent with that kind of trauma to the nails. There is a slight bunion there. There could be a history of bunions in the family, maybe mum or dad or grandma or grandpa, someone's got a bit of bunion going on there, or it could be a result of the kind of footwear that our volunteer is wearing on a daily basis, something that's a bit more narrow, especially with the boots. Again, that history of kind of playing sports regularly, boots are quite narrow, quite tight. They do push the feet in quite a fair bit, which could consistently push that bone out and develop that bunion over time. Yeah, so now looking at the bottom of the feet, we can see there are several points where that callus is developing. Callus is a result of pressure over time, so lots of pressure going into that medial aspect of both feet. He must be kind of launching off of that medial aspect and rolling that foot out as he steps, instead of kind of rolling it as a traditional gait cycle would be. And you can see different points of pressure throughout the feet where there is that kind of yellow thickness of that hard skin, which can be easily treated at any local podiatrist. They debride back that hard skin, get it nice and smooth again. Regular cream application, whether that's a foot cream or a heel balm, especially for the heels. Sometimes they have potential to crack if they are very, very dry. But yeah, regular visits to your podiatrist can get that sorted out for you.
Now, wasn't that super interesting? I think I'm headed to the store straight away for a new pair. Now, Charbel, thank you very much, mate. Do you want to let everyone know where we can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Head to the store for a new pair of shoes and maybe to visit us for a quick foot check in the clinic. You can find us in Parramatta and Toongabbie. We service those two areas at this stage, hoping to branch out a little bit more. You can find us at our website, clearsteppodiatry.com.au. You can book online, or you can even give us a call on our landline. All the information is on our website and our social media. Everything is Clear Step Podiatry. Nice and easy to find us. And more than happy to help you look after your feet and get that pain gone.
Lovely. So we hope you learned something today. Taking care of your feet starts with wearing the right shoes. And trust us, your feet will thank you. I'm Ethan, your DMCS TV host. See you in the next video.